morning, and welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. I am sorry for the little, thingy at the beginning. I haven't found a better way of turning on my camera, so I always have to lean forward to do it. I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm Kim, and yes, I'm that crazy lady who loves to talk with you about spinning and knitting and dyeing of yarn. Um, all of which I do in my home outside of Lima, Ohio. I want to welcome everybody today. It's always so nice to get together and visit with my friends. And I've said this before, but I do mean it. Excuse me. My puppy likes to keep tabs on my neighbor, so she was just informing me that my neighbor has gone somewhere. I'm hoping she settles down. Ginger. That plus it's a very windy day, and the wind makes houses and everything sound a little weird, so she's a little jumpy. Anyways, today's November 6th, and this is my 140th episode. Woo! I could be found all over on the internet. You can find me on Ravelry as NapiersKnits, and then we have our podcast group, Naturally Kim's Knitting podcast group, where if you join that, you could take part in the knit-alongs and, just all kinds of things. I have an Etsy store, Napier's Knits, but if you ever notice any yarn that I'm selling and you want to order it through by PMing me on Ravelry something, feel free to. I will figure out how much the postage is and I will let you know. Right now, all my yarn is $18 a skein plus shipping and handling. So anyways, that's Etsy. Instagram, you can find me as knittin_Kim. And on YouTube, Blogger, WordPress, I'm Naturally Kim's Knitting. I had to think. Plus, one of my balls of yarn just rolled along. Speaking of knit-alongs, guess what? It's that time of year where we do our Knitting for Others knit-along. There aren't a lot of rules. You do have to be a member of the Naturally Kim's Knitting podcast group to win. All you have to do is post a picture of what you knit, and then pattern name if you have it. And if you would like to, you can say who or what organization you're giving it to. I get so excited about this knit along. I thought about doing a different one, but I really like this one. And I what you knit can be a gift, or it could be for a charity, or whatever. I'm just so happy to see what you guys are working on. Then, in addition to that, we have our finished objects for November. Knit along. All you have to do for that is, once again, post a picture. Be a member, of course, of Naturally Kim's Knitting. Post a picture and pattern name for the item that you're making. And at the end of November, I will draw a winner. And with postage being so high and with the holidays coming along, I'm going to just go ahead and give patterns from now on, because it gets, when it costs more to mail a book than the book cost originally, that's sad. So anyways, let's see. So those are the knit-alongs. Any questions, feel free to put them on the Ravelry threads. There's one for finished objects for November and one for knitting for others. Just go ahead and put them in there. If you have any ideas of some craft-alongs, knit-alongs, whatever, that you would like to see us do, go ahead. There's a thread there for where you could put these ideas. And I have been making a note of all of them, and in the beginning of next year, we're going to start doing them. I am just so tickled with this. I'm going to say once again, this is probably going to be a short podcast. In fact, I have a question for everybody. Would you prefer me to stay in a podcast format, or would you rather have me blog and show pictures of the things that I'm talking about on a blog? I mean, I put my show notes and everything on blog right now, on Blogger and on WordPress. If you would prefer that because you want to take your time and read things and all this, let me know. I'll be glad. I'll go with whatever you guys think. Just put your comments under the podcast and let me know. Okay, as far as what I've been working on, I'm not going to show the Afghan. I only got 3 squares done. I had some issues last week and I got behind. And then I got frustrated because I wanted to make up those squares. And so I just decided, just do what you can. And I only got 3 squares done. And right now we're doing the same color and it's sugar plum for like a row of squares. But it's going to be beautiful. So I'm not going to show that today. I might take a picture and put it in the intro or something. I'm not sure yet. Okay, but the first thing I'm going to show you, I finished my scrap yarn socks last week, so of course I had to start another one. And I had a wonderfully productive time in church this week. I like working on scrap yarn socks at church because I don't have to look at them once I get the toe done, and I don't do the heels at church because I want to make sure I'm doing them right. But between the office and service, I just pull out one of my scrap yarn socks, which this is the next pair. Yes, they are different shades. They are from the same skein, they're just different shades. So I pulled these out and I started working on them, and this is my next pair, and I think I'm either ready for the heel or I'll be like 3 or 4 rows short. I was working on these last night just so I could, because I worked on one sock on Sunday, so I wanted to bring the other one up to snuff. That's a fun word, up to snuff. So anyways, so that's that one. That's for the soup kitchen, and I have a feeling probably a lady would prefer that one, being that's all pink. And those were Knit Picks yarns. Then, sorry for the bending over, but you know, it's easier if I put the things on the floor beside me. This is a Christmas gift. This is from a Gale's Art sock blank. I unrolled half of it and made it into a, pulled out half of it, made into a ball, so I could have the 2 halves be the same size. And I believe this was, oh, I have the tag right here, Yellowstone. But this was from Gale's Art, and yes, this is only a portion of the big old sock blank. But I'm making that, and it's turning into that. It's just a plain, another, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a pattern with this, because I'm never quite sure how a sock blank's going to work out. Do any of you guys ever have that issue? Well, I do sometimes. And so I just decided a plain sock, or plain vanilla sock, just stockinette stitch. And there's the other one. But I like them. They're going to be a gift for a male person for Christmas. I can't say who. They might watch. You never know. Then, because I have enough knitting needles for it, I might as well make, oh, I don't have the, I did have the yarn wrapper, but I don't have it in here. This is also a gift. This is for a female in my family. And I showed these a little bit last week, or female gift recipient. And I showed these a little bit last week because of the yarn, they are not a matchy-matchy pair of socks. See, this is one, oops, and this is the other. And whoever gets them might sit there and think, well, those aren't a pair. So what I did, you can actually see it pretty good. Now I lost it. It folded over. I put a little simple cable down both sides of the top of the foot, and that's going to continue all the way up through the cuff. These are almost ready for the heel. So both sets have the cable. See? And that's what's going to make them a pair. I like them. And I think the person I'm making them for is going to like them. I hope. Then, of course, this is sherbet. I had the wrapper for this. Then I set it down, and I don't know where it's at. It's over here, I believe, beside me, but I'm not for sure. But this was the hat that I got started last week, and I didn't get to work on it very much either, for the same reasons I haven't worked on the Afghan. But isn't that pretty? And this one has a pom-pom. Sorry, it's got yarn all over it. But isn't that pretty? And I like the way it's working up. I'm getting close to the decreases on that. Then I might, if it's like the other one, I might have enough for another hat then. So yay! I think it's funny. Last week I had 2 finished objects. 3 finished objects. And this week I don't have any. But this is one of the reasons what's coming up right now. Because I had to put the garden gnome hoodie on the back burner just temporarily. Because the sample knit that I'm doing for catcarri on Ravelry, and it uses the Malabrigo Rios yarn and out of Paris Nights, natural Hojas and Frank Ochre needles 8, 5 which is 5 millimeter, and 7, which is 4.5 millimeter. And the pattern is the Throwback Sweater, which I saw so many pictures of people wearing this at Rhinebeck, so tickled by that. And it's by Drea Renee Knits. There'll be links for all of that in my show notes. But let me show you. No, it's not finished. Oh my goodness, you guys are silly. You think I worked that fast? I did work on it a lot. Have you ever worked on 2 projects at the same time? This is how much I love this sweater. I usually take evenings to do my socks. Okay? Well, last night I thought, I really want to make a little more impact on this sweater this week. Because if you remember, last week I just started the ribbing, and you did 4 inches of ribbing, and then you have the sleeves to do. And I got the ribbing done, and I got the sleeves started, and I thought, oh, I want to go farther. So I would work a little bit on the sock, set it down, and pick up the Throwback Sweater. Isn't it gorgeous? There's the ribbing. And that, I guess I was farther along with the ribbing than I thought last week. So that's where I stopped last week, made it all the way down there, picked up the stitches for the sleeve, and I'm working on the sleeve. And that's, I mean, sleeves, you got to keep track of the decreases, and it's stockinette stitch. So, yeah, and the sock I was working on was stockinette stitch. I thought, okay, and that's what I did. And I sometimes feel like I'm cheating because because nighttime's supposed to be soft knitting time, and I just can't put this down. Isn't that gorgeous? Now this is the back. The front still has some more work to do on it, but it's awesome. I guess I could show it to you. Isn't that gorgeous? So when I get this finished, this is a sample pattern, and I will be mailing this off to her. And then I'm going to have to see about doing one for me. I don't know. I want to do the same sweater, but you know, I also have Harley, which I made for my daughter, and I want to make one of those for me. And my husband and I have always had a deal. When I lose 10 pounds, we've always said either get yarn, roving, or a shirt. Well, I had just bought some shirts for the fall, so I'm thinking either I'll have him see if he'll buy me a sweater's worth of yarn, or maybe I'll wait till I get down to 25, because I'm at the 10-pound mark right now. So, I don't know. I love that sweater. Now, I don't want to forget things. I've had a wonderful week this week. Before I get any farther, though. Sorry. There was a question for me this week. Zona, you are so sweet. They take breaks where they go to Spain, and so she's in Spain, and they've had some flooding there and all this. Anyways, she was liking the color work, but she was asking me if I changed needles or anything on the color work, and yes, I went up 1 size because color work has a tendency to squish it. They recommend it in the pattern anyways, but color work has a tendency, just by what it is to want to shrink in, I guess. Is that what I want to say? Be tighter. And so to help prevent this, I just went up a needle size, which, like I said, is what they recommended. And I did the color work in that. And really, you can't tell the difference by looking at it. You can't tell that that part was worked on a needle one size larger. So yeah, that's what I did, and I'm going to remember that trick, and that's what I'm going to do from now on. I did a hat for Cece last year, and I wasn't thrilled with it, and I think if I would have gone up a size, I still wouldn't have worn the hat because it's not my style, but I think I would have liked it better. So anyways, that was a good question to hear from her, and I love hearing questions from any of you guys. And they're usually good things that, are helpful for others. But like I said, I'll answer questions relatively about almost anything. I mean, you want to know what the weather is like here at Christmas? I'll tell you. If you want to see a picture of my dog or cat, well, number one, in Instagram this past week, my dog has a habit of about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is usually why I go to socks at that time, of jumping on my lap. And she stays there, and she gives me this little look, and sometimes she'll lick my hands, and it's like, I love you. And so I took a picture of her because you could see the yarn trailing out from underneath her. And I said, this is my knitting helper. I'm sorry, that was just a fun little thing. Okay, let's see. I have had a couple books that I need to review. Where did I put them? Right here. Sorry. I've got some things to show you guys. Got these from Dover, and they had a Harry and Meghan paper doll earlier in the year, but it was more about the romance. This one is Faux Courtship and Wedding. So I'm going to send this to my granddaughter, but it includes all kinds of cute outfits for both of them. Yes, they have a basic doll to start off with, but Megan doll for this one. Wonder what they're going to do with the baby bump, huh? Then, of course, the wedding dress. And more Megan. You just have to admit it. Girls have more choices when it comes to getting dressed. I mean, guys can change up some things, but, this is, so far, it's all Megan. I'm starting to wonder. I looked at this. I thought there was Harry. Oh, here we go. Here's Harry. Sorry about showing him in his underwear, but yes, there's not as much of Harry. But then they have this beautiful background. So that's from Dover. They have a list price of $9.99. It is available. I know you can get it at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. But it's Harry and Meghan, The Wedding paper dolls. So, cute book. Going to my granddaughter. Then, this is going to her too, because it's called Princess Party, a scratch and sketch adventure. And when I saw this, I thought about my granddaughter. Look at this. It's one of those that you scratch off. Well, okay, there's lots of different things. It starts off with the coloring section. And it tells you some things about how to make your own scratch paper. And then it has pictures to color. And as you go along, then you have these Princess Pirate pictures were scratched and scribbled by, and there's a place they can scratch and scribble their name and their age. And then they have the pictures. So this is really cute. And then in the back, they have a sketch pad where they can make their own story. And I don't know, I just thought this was perfect for my granddaughter. Has the little stick for scratching things off. And this is listed at $12.99, which I really think is a good price. Also, it's available at Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Princess Party with the Princess Pirates. And it's just really, it's cute. let's see what other goodies I have. Well, it's getting close to Christmas. And I know it was before my birthday. The Yarn Lab UK came out with their Harry Potter Advent Calendar. And I told my husband, you could get me that for my birthday and Christmas, and you don't have to get me anything else. So I've got 24 of these lovely little red packages, one to open each day. Then they sent me this beautiful yarn, sock weight yarn. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that too. And in addition, there was, well, this was before my diet restarted. They had some candies and things like that. Oh, and they also had, I can't wait to use this. I'm trying not to use things. So, oh, I had this open earlier. There we go. A Harry Potter pin. And a little box to put notions and things in. And it says 422nd Quidditch World Cup. Isn't that sweet? I love it. So I thought about waiting till it got even closer and showing you guys, but I can't help it. I just love that. And some of the yarns, she has names for each one of these. Ring the Hogwarts Bell, Ghost Carolers, Gnomes on the Tree. So as I open them, whether we decide to do a blog or this podcast, I will reveal what they look like. I am excited. And I loved how it came with the seal on the envelope, or on the letter. Then, well, I might as well stick with Advent calendars. I do have this one, and I'm thinking, seeing as how they're small, I should be okay. But as many of you know, the Mars bars that you get in the UK are like, to me, my very favorite candy bar. Mars Advent Calendar. Isn't that cool? So, yes. I may have to take pictures of those to show you too. And then, I love making these, but Walker's shortbreads. Oh. And they're a product of Scotland. My husband's family, you know. They're not Walkers, but you know. So I got this nice big tin of shortbreads. And I'm going to be watching. I'm not going to, a few little sweets are fine. You just can't overdo. Then, well, something that we started this back when my daughter and I came back from the UK, I think. Whenever we can, we like to have crackers or poppers. No, Christmas crackers. And I found these, and I thought, aren't those gorgeous? And there's 6 of them. And I'm thinking, I might be sharing these with my friends. I may see about that. So, I think that's all the goodness stuff. Oh no! How could I forget? So, the first week in October is Lambtown Festival in Dixon, California. And I usually am out there, but that's also the time of my granddaughter's birthday. But now that I have a grandson who's starting to realize the importance of birthdays, and his is in January, I can't go for both of them. And I don't want one of them to say, oh, but grandma likes me more because she comes to my birthday. So I decided, and I talked to my husband and he agreed, that we're going to start going out like in the spring or early summer. I know it's warm there, but hey. So anyways, that means I can't go to Lambtown anymore. But my daughter went for me. And she told me an interesting fact, which I did discover this last year. If you go to a fiber festival, you should take cute kids. They give you free samples, or they give you free things. And my grandkids were big into collecting cards and things, but I wanted to show you some of this. This, I wish you could feel this, This is a I'm not fingering, a lace weight yarn, but that color is so rich. And this is by StitchSisters.com, and it's 100% Mongolian cashmere. 50 grams, 500 yards. I'm going to have to figure out what to make with that. Then, Gedifra Topaz, I guess. It's very pretty. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. But I'm thinking this was one of the free samples, because it had a mark on it somewhere. But I wish I could read whatever language it is. It was made in Italy, so I'm supposing it's Italian. So I really don't know, but it's a lovely yarn. Then this is the place I bought yarn from last year, Sincere Sheep. And hand-dyed fibers and yarns using the finest natural dyes. And my daughter and granddaughter got me purple. They got me purple. It's a fingering. It's 100% Cormo wool. I'm thinking one of those one skein shawls that I have. And I'm not sure if these aren't the size of robings. Oh my goodness. What's the name of the company? Just a moment, you can see the top of my head real close. Because in addition to going, they also were sending me the yarn. They sent me the bulletin, or the program, which there's a lot of workshops I would have liked to have gone to. But I want to give this one Wonderland Dye Works. I love them. Whenever I've gone, I always get stuck in their booth just feeling their fiber, because I always tell my husband I'm not going to bring home a bunch of fiber. But look at that. And I have ordered from them. And oh, look at that. So I cannot wait to start spinning this. Oh, it's so nice. Anyways, so my grandchildren went to Lambtown, and my daughter, and none of them knit, but they know Grandmom does. And so this was my birthday present from them, and I am so tickled. And I love having this too, because it helped me to remind me of some of the vendors that are there. So now I believe that is everything. I believe it is. So I'm very glad you guys were able to come and visit today. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope I showed you some interesting things. I love talking with you. I hope all of you have a wonderful week, very successful week of crafting, and I hope that you don't have any mistakes, but they do happen once in a while. And if they happen, I hope they're really small ones that are easy to correct. I love each and every one of you. Big hugs, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.